Hey Virgo, welcome to your Souls and Separation reading. We're going to take a look at what's going on in your connection this week. It's really for the beginning of November. I shouldn't say this week because time is fluid, but it is a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. This isn't going to resonate with all Virgos, but some of it might resonate with you. Some of it might be for someone else. If it doesn't resonate at all, check your moon sign, rising sign, or Venus sign because that could be more of the energy that you are in. All right, so let's get a look at the overall energy between you and your soul that you are separated from. Person B, all tied up. We've gotten this before for you, Virgo, so I feel like we're either still continuing. I just need to adjust my camera here a little bit so you can see that a bit better. It's still dark. Let me get the camera, or let me get the light, Turn on some light. See, that's a little bit better anyways. Okay. All right, so we're either still repeating some of the same stuff, which is normal, which happens all the time. Some of the lessons that we need to learn have multiple lessons attached to them, okay, have multiple scenarios. So have faith. It could be that you're overcoming this particular part, okay? So we have all tied up as the overall theme. It is freedom through change. And it is sometimes about attachment or being bound, sort of being stuck, okay? All right, so what recent event has occurred to provide healing awareness to the connection between the two of you? Okay, door to value. All right, so that's there's a lot of, this is a 4, so this is a working number. We have some work here. We have perhaps realizing your value, okay? Perhaps you were stuck where you were before because you didn't realize your value, okay? But we will get clarification. Actually, we'll do that right now. We will clarify as we go. So let's find out what this recent event was all about with this door to value. I do really truly feel that our door to value and our connection to abundance and our connection to our value, the energy we feel of money in the relationship we have with money is a direct correlation to the relationship and value we see in ourselves and the relationship we have with ourselves. So I think if you guys could knock this out of the park, you'll be golden. But let's get some clarification on that. Yeah. We have some emotional communication, okay? Yeah. Transformation. Yeah, this is awesome. So we had the Knight of Cups come up. And the Knight of Cups is, it could be coming forward with an offer of love, but I feel like this is a verbal, even just having this conversation with yourself, Virgo. You could have had it with your twin. Or your counterpart or the other soul. It's not saying you're not. I'm just saying when the emotion is allowed to flow freely, okay, it frees up a lot of things. Yeah, because we have here, the next card that came out was the Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles is sort of apprenticing this new concept of your new physical reality and what you really want. Like, look at him studying that particular pentacle, okay? He's like, this is kind of what I want, but I want to shape it to my needs and what I find valuable, okay? Then we have the Death card. So we have transformation here. And I feel like the transformation that needed to take place was so that you could release the burden of all that baggage you were carrying, because here we have the Fool. Okay, so I feel like whatever work you've been doing with your own value, Virgo, has really opened up a lot of new opportunities for you, and you're about to set forth in this new beginning. It's allowed you to put down other people's baggage. Whoever taught you about what value was, you've been carrying it around with you, but it's not yours to carry around anymore. So I think that's beautiful for the both of you. Let's take a look at the current energy of the situation between the two of you. Financial constraints, very interesting, because what do we have? We have another 4, okay? So I feel this card, I'm gonna again get clarification, but what I instantly heard was that after recognizing whatever this event that happened, whether it was just an aha moment or it was through conversation with someone where you were just emotionally like explaining or speaking out loud, there was some conversation that was spoken out loud. Okay, it's had you assess your own Mother Hubbard's cupboard. And you found it wanting because you cannot put someone else's currency in your vault. Okay. So let's see, and again, this is affecting the both of, this is the currency between the two of you. You're realizing that what you thought was a bare cupboard was because you were trying to put someone else's money in your vault. So let's take a look. And again, currency, because we all have our own vibrational currency. But you and your twin were doing that. You were putting other people's currency or energetic vibration in your vault and expecting it to stay there. That makes, I know that's for somebody. I know that'll make sense. But I feel, let's get some clarification on that. I do feel like you're working to put your own currency. You're working to fill up your own vault. Yeah, you are. Look at that. We have the Empress, and she is all about abundance and birthing new creativity and just sitting in the seat of unconditional love. But she doesn't use anyone else's currency. She's created her own. She's created her own currency, her own vibration, her own alignment with self. Yeah. Yeah. So the Judgment card is here because whenever I think of the Judgment card, I shouldn't say whenever, sometimes when it comes up, I feel like, you know, when people pass and they go through the pearly gates, if you will, and they're shed all of the stuff that they picked up in this lifetime. They shed all of that to leave it behind them to go through the gates, to be a burden-free soul, a sin-free soul, if you will. I feel like when we recognize that the only reason we ever felt like we needed to defend ourselves or put our walls up, or felt like we had sinful souls, if you will, is because we were carrying around other people's judgment. So I feel like when we recognize that we're putting someone else's currency in our vault, someone else's judgment, someone else's words, someone else's concept in our vault, and it's obviously not going to sustain us, okay? When we realize we're doing that and start putting our own self in our vault, the judgment, it's almost like the judgment, the magic of judgment, the magic of the pearly gates happens, and we can sit steadfast in our own sin-free soul, in our own powerful, loving, beautiful soul, okay? So I feel like you're both, that's the energy between the two of you. So I feel like you're starting to recognize not only the judgment of others, but the way that the judgment of others also affected the way you judge yourself and the other soul that we're talking about here, your person, okay? I feel like that's a really great place to be because there's so much awareness around that. And when you're aware of it, you might not know what to do with it, but you're not going to react the same way. Okay, so let's take a look at where you are at. Where are you at, Virgo, with this connection? Where are you at? There's like 5 of them. Okay, we can't do 5. We can do 1. Maybe 2. Where are you at in the connection, Virgo? Okay. We got some hostilities, okay? The energy I got from this was more... The energy I got from this was more about... Perhaps you're dealing with... I feel like there's an overwhelming amount of energy coming through. You could be, if you are... predominantly feminine energy, if you will. If you are, you could be feeling the masculine energy. A lot of the masculine energies right now, and I should probably preface, I do tend to channel masculine energy on behalf of the masculines that can't physically speak for themselves yet. But I feel like a lot of them are dealing with oppression, so and not being able to speak their truth. I feel like they are, sorry, you probably hear the dog, the dog. I feel like a lot of them are struggling with being able to express themselves. So they are pushing through a lot of it energetically. So that's more of what I'm getting from this card. So if you felt random feelings of anger or yeah, that happened. And I can't really stop recording and start again. This is how life happens. I had to let the dog out. Okay. I feel like if you've been feeling like random bursts of frustration or anger, that kind of thing, it's not necessarily at the connection. It'll be some random triggers that wouldn't normally upset you. And I feel like that's because of the connection. But let's get some clarification to see where you're at with the connection. It's interesting. What's coming to me right now is some of you really wanted communication from your counterpart or from your the other half of your soul, if you will, or the other person, and it's coming through energetically. It's just not coming through the way that you hoped, because you're kind of taking it on as your own. So let's get some clarification on that, though, before I get too far down that rabbit hole. It seems kind of a rabbit hole kind of a day. All right, yeah. Fiery, a little bit of fiery energy here. We do have the Knight of Wands. Okay, yeah. There's some, I don't know. I just randomly heard like angry sex. So whoever that's for, okay. But I feel like you're still carrying a torch, okay? And that's not a bad thing, but you're also watching them. You're looking for them, either on social media, what have you, and you still view them. You're still very passionate about them physically. So I feel like that's kind of where you're at in the physical. And then this is where you're at in the 5D or soul. So I feel that's kind of what's going on with you right now, Virgo, in regards to this connection. And that's okay. That's all part of the process. It's just, I feel sometimes these things come up so that you can understand a little bit as to why these things are happening. But I feel like maybe for some of you, you have felt, not that you felt a little bit disengaged with the physical attraction for a bit, and now it's like come back to life, full tilt. Anyways, and it's meant to do that. It's meant to ebb and flow with whatever's going on with us energetically. All right, current healing or evolving in the connection between the two of you. Rest and rejuvenation, yeah. Okay, so learning when it's time to rest, learning when it's time to take care of yourself, learning that rest and rejuvenation is part of the momentum, it is part of the progress. Let's get some clarification on that. I feel like what it has to do a lot with this being tied up is being tied up to old concepts and beliefs, being tied up to, sorry, I'm trying to adjust, there we go, that's still not gonna go, so you can see there. Okay, sort of being tied up with things having to be a certain way in order for them to work. I think we're moving into a space where we just have to go with the flow in the moment, and know that has to be what's good for us, because that's what's happening in the moment, instead of getting caught up in all these details. And for Virgos, I know, because I'm a Virgo rising, it's hard to lose track of the details. All right, let's get some clarification on rest and rejuvenation. What is healing and evolving in the connection? Yeah. Okay. So the first one that popped up was the Ten of Pentacles. Okay. So what is evolving is our concept of family, our concept of, long-term commitment. Okay. Tower moments. What is also evolving and healing is our concept around tower moments and the triggers they bring. And I feel like some of you have been having tower moments, and it's providing an evolvement of the connection, because as your awareness evolves, so does your connection. And then we have the Page of Cups. So these are all very separate in a lot of ways, but they're all tied to our emotions. And really sort of learning about how our emotions truly work, and knowing that there's a difference between feeling and emotional reaction. Okay, Emotion and feeling are two different things, and we can get into that in another time. But I do want to leave you with an Archangel message before we get into the extended version. The extended version is, it is available through a link in the description box. We're going to talk about what is on your, what is on the soul you're separated from, what is on their mind, what they're feeling in their emotions, how they're viewing you and the connection they have with you, how you're helping them energetically, how their higher self can help you and the strengths that you can pull in. The next step on the journey are blockages that need to be removed. How do they want to move forward with you? Like, what are they thinking about? What are they planning? Near future outcome, advice from the tarot, and a message from their higher self. And again, that information is available in a link below in the description box. I just started using Vimeo, so you can actually buy it and download that part of the video. It's yours to keep, so I think that's pretty cool. Or I do offer personalized readings, candy.wishman@gmail.com. Okay. So we have the Four of Michael here, which is like the Four of Swords. It's still a recovery energy, but it's mental stillness. So insights that come from quiet meditation, the need for more sleep or time off, seek relief from stress. Okay. So the archangels, I feel, are saying to you in this moment, Virgo, that it's time to just relax. And some of you actually, what's interesting, because we have 444 here, so for some of you that's your number, just so you know, it's all good. It's time to fly. So what I get from this is you're doing a lot of work in your sleep, whether you remember your dreams or not. Give yourself permission to take a nap, because you're actually doing a lot of energetic healing for yourself and the person you are connected to soul-wise. Okay, so if you want to be notified when more videos are published or uploaded, please hit the subscribe button with the bell beside it. The bell is actually what activates the notification for you. Otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in. Be your peace, love yourself, share your light, and have an amazing day, Virgo.